have noticed that 75% of ninjas have absolutely nothing to offer. And I'm not talking about money or gifts or anything material. What I am talking about, though, is no respect for you, no love for you, no appreciation for you, no valuing you, absolutely no attempts to build with you or build you up, no chivalry, no.
What time period does she think she's in? What is this, 1955? She wants chivalry and she wants all these things from this man. She demands so much, but it's like, these are traditional traits and you're not a traditional woman. You have a tattoo on your sternum, literally a heart. Like, that's not traditional. Where do you guys get these concepts from nowadays? Men are literally not that way anymore. Like, get a time machine, build one, and go back there, and maybe you'll experience it. But it's 2025.
No appreciation, no safe space for you to authentically be yourself, no trust, no consistency, no loyalty, and absolutely no stability.
So you mean to tell me you want a man to do all of these things for you, unlock all of these things, and you haven't been yourself this whole time? You said a safe space to be yourself. So that just goes to show me that the tattoos and everything that, and all of this baggage that you've carried all the way up to now, that wasn't the real you. So why would any man take you serious if you're not authentically yourself already?
When dating, be very cautious and take the time to learn your partner, to learn who you're dating, because at the end of the day, if your partner cannot sustain a relationship via offering you those things that I just mentioned, then you have a problem, because it's not about gifts, it's not about money, it's not about where you can take me, what I can do for you, what you can do for me. It's absolutely not about that. It's about, can you offer a safe space? Can you be supportive? And all of the things that I expect from my partner, I can be.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
So make sure you can be what you expect. Very important.
And this is why a lot of women just like this are attractive, cute, but have a lot of baggage, a lot of tattoos that are masculine tendencies, to the point where they believe still that whatever they project out, they can find a man that is exactly like them, not thinking for 1 second that opposites attract.
If a man asks you about your body count, if you're speaking online, block him immediately. If you're on the date with him in person, excuse yourself to the bathroom and just get out of there as quickly as possible, because...
But why are you women so ashamed to admit what you did? Ask a man his body count. You'll say, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 9, whatever the fuck. Ask a woman. Why are you asking me that question? Why does that matter, man? It doesn't matter, man. And it's like, are you that ashamed of yourself? It's not that serious. Because look, I was talking to this one girl that had a high body count one time. Don't ask me questions. And she tried posting a TikTok trying to act like she was untouchable. You know how they be. And they were bullying her in the comments. They were frying her. And she started looking at me, saying, why are you not defending me? I just gonna let them talk about me like this. What's wrong with you? I was like, what am I meant to say? If you're a rant dude, that's not my problem. I'm not gonna go, hey guys, leave her alone. She's changed, I swear. Like, no. They're gonna start bullying me. I ain't getting bullied with you. Why'd I have to go down with you? But yeah, the consensus of this story is, women, if you know you're gonna have to lie about what you've done in the future, then don't do it now. And if you have to lie about what you did in the past, look in the mirror and be ashamed of yourself. But yeah, that's all for me. I'm not shaming no women before they start coming for me. I'm just saying, hey, live in your truth.
I mean, let's be honest. It's a fact of life. They are ashamed of it. And if it didn't matter, like he said, you could ask a guy, what's his body count? He'll tell you. Even if it's low, it just doesn't matter. And men will be like, okay, this is my transparency. But women, they'll never tell you. They'll give you a number, but they'll never tell you the real number. Because deep down, they're ashamed. They're ashamed because they had to give their body away to that many men. And most of the time, those guys got away with another notch on their belt, and they just added another body to the collection.
I'm just going to talk about this comment that was left on one of my videos, and there's quite a few men that leave similar comments to this, and this proclamation that, you know, this is why men are staying single. And this is obviously not all men, but there is a reason why men do this. And the reason that men say I'm staying single, which in other terms, basically means I'm also willing to have a string of hookups that mean nothing to get my own needs satisfied, is that the reason that they do this is because they are not willing to face themselves. Any man that says, you know, I'm staying single, is because they do not want to be in a situation that is causing them to face parts of themselves that have been denied, that have been repressed, where they are not taking accountability for the way that they show up in relationships. And obviously, if they're not in relationship or opening themselves up to the right person, they're not going to have this mirroring. And so by isolating and saying, you know, this is why men are staying single, it's just basically another way of saying, I don't want to face myself.
That doesn't make any sense in the slightest, because men are not dating themselves. So this just shows you that it's either blame men or blame men. Notice how she completely took women out of the equation. Didn't even think it, like nothing popped in her head to think or prompt her to be like, you know what, maybe it's the women. They never think that. They never think that. They're like, no, we're perfect little princesses. We do nothing wrong. And it's unsettling to her to actually believe that men are okay being single without them.
Because unfortunately in Western society and sort of in the modern world, men are becoming apathetic. They're becoming more feminized. And when wounded feminine energy shows up in men, it causes them to lack accountability, to not want to take responsibility, to be flighty, to not commit to things, which is automatically a massive turn off to women that are in a healed feminine energy.
Did you just admit that it's a feminine tendency to not take any type of accountability?
And so the sorts of women that they would actually, you know, thrive in relationship with, they're not attracting anyway, because they're not opening themselves up to the possibility that actually they're the ones that are responsible for the type of women that they're actually pulling in the first place. And so it becomes this vicious cycle. But when men say, you know, that they're staying single as an act of, you know, trying to control their circumstances, the reality is underneath that, they're feeling very much out of control. And because they don't have a language for communicating, you know, what's going on underneath, because no man that is in a healed masculine energy is going to make this proclamation and decide that he's going to be single for the rest of his life. Because when you look at the way that obviously masculine energy thrives in life, it is to build, it's to continuously have something to move towards, to build some sort of legacy for self, and to feel as if they're creating a foundation, you know, and building something. And you're saying, you know, I'm cutting off my own growth, which is obviously what comes from being in a relationship anyway. They're automatically showcasing they're not actually in their masculine, because to get to the end of your life and basically look back and say, you know, I worked a job that was okay, that paid the bills, sat on my own money so I didn't have to pay anything, you know, for women, and, you know, got to the end of my life with a string of hookups. You look back at that as a legacy for a male, and the level of regret that would come with that is not going to feel good.
A man's growth comes from his purpose, not from a relationship, but a woman's purpose and her growth comes from a man. So you're actually conflating the two. Men and women are not the same, and that's the problem. Women believe just because they have a box and just because, you know, they can use shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right against men, that it's going to make men turn around and say, okay, let me start pursuing you. Let me give you free attention. Let me give you validation just for existing again. But maybe in another decade, I don't know why these women are fighting. Men are waiting for the new batch. Even the men that you want, the older guys, the guys that are established, they're waiting for the new batch of women to come out. So even in her own relationships, 9 times out of 10, guys don't take her serious. They know that the head is crazy, but she's crazy, so they don't put her in a relationship.
I was with my best friend from 19 to 26 years old. That dude was my fucking everything, okay? This is the story that he would tell everybody when they would ask what kind of person I am. We've been together for like 2.5 years at this point, maybe 2 years, and he had gotten signed to Universal Music, an amazing producer, artist, fantastic. And he was living in Vegas, and I showed up at his place in Vegas for the first time since he had moved there. And this man was sleeping on a blow-up mattress. And I was like, there is no way that the man that I love is going to sleep on a blow-up mattress. I had no job at this point. I had just moved to the U.S., was getting my green card. I couldn't work. With the little money that I did have, I went and I bought him a mattress and put it in the back of my Passat, okay? And then proceeded to carry that mattress up 3 flights of stairs at like 9 o'clock in the morning in the scorching Vegas heat. Walk in there, I'm like panting, sweating, dying, because that's what you do when you love somebody. That's the kind of person that I am in a relationship. I will give 100% of myself and the last bit of energy that I have because I love you. That is what a woman does. Yeah, we can talk about how I cooked and cleaned for him and helped him with his business and helped him become a fucking millionaire, and now he lives in a nice penthouse fucking apartment in Vancouver. I don't need to talk about that because I know what kind of woman I am when I show up in a relationship. You want to know what ruined that relationship? We were long distance for a period of time. I went during the pandemic and I was staying with him in Vancouver, and something changed. And you want to know what changed? He started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit. He started listening to content about MGTOW, and that man changed. And I would sit across from him and not understand the person that I was seeing. I felt like I was waking up to somebody that I did not know. I am qualified to talk about this shit. I am qualified to understand the repercussions that red pill content have on men, because the person that I wanted to spend my life with, the person I was in love with, the person I wanted to fucking marry changed overnight because of the content like that. And I see now the men who do watch that content, I hear the things that they say because I would listen to it. I actually started consuming that content because I wanted to understand what happened. To all the men who asked me that question, there's your answer.
Yep, he stopped being a simp. You damn right. He figured, I'm not going to be this woman's meal ticket. I'm way too young to be her meal ticket. And she's way too young to be having this type of attitude. But I get it, social media and things of that nature. But what was she expecting out of a artist that was, on a major label to be faithful to her? That guy's going to be on tour with baddies. He's going to see way more attractive women. He's young just like her. Like, women get so ahead of themselves, man. And she blamed it on the red pill. The red pill is just the cold, hard reality and the truth, the dirty truth about male and female dynamics. And all you're hearing on these podcasts are locker room talk forms of RP. That's all it is. It's how men really feel and what we shield away from women because women can't handle the truth. This is why men lie and women fall in love with their ears.
Letting a bum get you pregnant is a great way to ruin your life for the rest of your life. That shit will ruin your life for the rest of your life, because for the rest of your life, you're going to have to deal with that man. A lot of you guys are doing it for the plot, and then you fuck around and find out and you get pregnant and you have to deal with that fucking loser for the rest of your life. They do it on purpose. They get you pregnant on purpose because they want to trap you. Men trap women with babies, not the other way around. And if you're trapping a bum with a baby because you feel like that makes you special, like being someone's baby mother makes you special, you're beyond help. A man getting you pregnant doesn't mean anything. The only thing it means is that you're going to be stuck with that man for the rest of your fucking life. It could not be more serious or damning. Do not let that man put a baby in you. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, damn, at least I don't have nobody's baby. At least I didn't run around and have someone's baby. No offense, sis, if that's what you did, but if you haven't done that, please make sure you don't do that. Please, it will ruin your life.
To the ladies watching this channel, the small percentage, don't listen to that advice. Don't let her talk to you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna take that from her, a 304 floozy that can't get any guy, the one that has like at least 98.5% of her eggs already cooked, already spoiled, and none of the egg treatments or IVF is gonna work. So what you should do, if I was a woman and I heard this nonsense, this disrespect, I would find me a good enough man, because there's good men all over here that I love you, cherish you, and have a baby. And I bet you by the time she's 45 and you're 45, you'll have something to show for, and you'll be way more happy naturally in your feminine because you're raising a child than her having a Jackhammer 6000, crying every single night with boxed wine and Briar's ice cream and getting passed around by Chad, Tyrone, and Julio like a blunt at the Snoop Dogg concert.